Three, two, one.
Here we go.
Good morning, good people. Welcome to the Skywalker Morning Show. We are streaming live on YouTube, and of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker. Still, boom! Happy Halloween, folks. One of my favorite times of the year. Coming up today, Ricky Scoops. When he speaks, we listen. When he speaks, we listen. He got a little, your favorite insider's most hated insider dropped a bit of a bomb on Cowboys Nation yesterday. Plus, I know y'all got a lot to say. So I said, let me open up this mailbag. Let me talk to y'all. Let me get some questions. And there was some really good ones. Y'all never fail when it comes to these questions. And among the questions, we're going to talk about where I think Schotty should just be like, hey, dog, screw it. You know, it's time to start operating as your team is. We got to stop trying to coddle the other side of the ball. So we're going to talk more about that. And yes, of course, your owner is being a little goofy. He's being a little goofy again. You know, the old age is getting to him. And like I said, Halloween's one of my favorite times of the year. And apparently it's his as well. He came dressed up as a general manager and, you know, came to the Star and scared the shit out of everybody. Because you ain't one, Jerry. So stop pretending to be one and stop talking. Stop talking. We'll get to all that. We'll get to all that because someone did ask that question in the mailbag. And yeah, I do want to hear what y'all got to say about it too. You know, I've seen on Twitter the reaction to it. I'll give you mine. As you already know how I feel for the most part. But just sometimes I feel like he needs to hear this. He's just this guy, man. This guy. But yeah, how y'all feel about Jerry Jones' costume right there, man? I'm a real boy. You're not a GM, dog. Cut the malarkey, as he would say. Cut it. Stop it. You know? But anyway, phone lines. 351-999-3787. Do want to talk to y'all as we go through this whole thing. I don't have my picks for Monday's game. Cowboys play the Arizona Cardinals on Monday. We'll talk more about them Monday. I'll give y'all my picks for sleeper, but I do want to review my picks from last night. I can't get him, but maybe y'all can. You know, maybe y'all can. I don't know. But here we go. Let's get to this roundup. Got some injury news. And look, man, if you didn't believe in Ricky before, because I was a skeptical guy, you kind of got to believe in Ricky now. Even if he doesn't hit on this one, when he speaks, I listen. That's all I'm going to say about that, Cowboys Nation. So let's do it.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you, Cowboys Nation. So before we get to Ricky, Cowboys injury report. You know, obviously, you got a game. Got a game coming up on Monday. So there will be another one like that, I think, Saturday and not Monday because that's the game. So I think there's going to be one Saturday. I'm not sure if they'll practice Sunday or not. It's been a while since Dallas has been on Monday Night Football. But got a little bit of a scare yesterday when DeMarvion Overshown exited practice. We didn't know what was going on. and came back that he just had some type of hand-thumb issue and he returned back to practice. Excuse me. It's not like he's going to play anytime soon, meaning like this week or maybe even next week, but should be the following week or maybe a couple weeks closer to Thanksgiving with the bye week coming up. Would not shock me if we see Demo, after the bye. So we need him to remain healthy if the Cowboys want to just, get as many talented players back as possible to give any type of improvement to this putrid of a defense. But the report yesterday, another lengthy one, no Elijah Clark. He didn't practice. Jack Sanborn out with a groin injury. So no longer the concussion, but the groin, which, as we stand right now, can't believe we're even thinking about this. But yeah, you probably need him back soon. Donovan Wilson also did not practice, elbow, shoulder. If he doesn't practice today and tomorrow, he might not play again. You did get back Wanye Thomas. He was limited with the migraine, but again, I think he was trending towards playing last week and then ended up not playing. Those migraines are no joke. My mom dealt with them for a long, long time. They are no joke. Good news, Perion Winfrey came back. He had his 21-day window activated. We'll see if he's ready to go this week or they wait till after the bye. If I had to guess, I would say probably after the bye. Cooper Beebe probably should have played last week. I'm not sure why he didn't, but he's practicing in full with the ankle. Be a good time to get him back against the Cardinals. Not because I think the Cardinals have some amazing interior defensive line, but they do have a really good one in the ageless wonder, Calais Campbell, who I would have loved to have on this team. I've been trying to get Calais Campbell on this team for I don't know how many goddamn years. But yeah, nice to get him back. Kenny Clark is dealing with the elbow. Marshawn Nealon's dealing with the ankle, but he was practicing in full. But you know what? Marshawn, you can come have a seat because I got some plans for you, buddy. I got some plans for you. And then Reddy Stewart was practicing in full with the thigh. So that's your injury report for yesterday. I don't think anything crazy. Still got a couple guys on IR. I hope they're not banking on everybody coming back from IR for this defense to improve. They need to make some moves, and we're going to talk about that. Speaking of which, Ricky Scoops. For those who don't go on Twitter, who was not familiar with this guy, he popped up some years ago with some predictions, insider information, or what have you about trades and acquisitions and contracts, and he hits, man. Now he went on a streak where he missed so bad that he was like, I'm out. I'll let y'all when I'll let y'all. But then he'll pop up out of nowhere and be like, George Pickens is getting traded, man, to the Cowboys. And everybody like, nah. Breaking news, George Pickens. Micah Parsons and the Packers got a deal ready to go. Everybody like, nah, man, get out of here. Breaking news, Micah to the Packers. Terry McLaurin about to get that bread. Terry McLaurin. He been on a bit of a heater. Boy, he got me to believe. So Ricky Scoops dropped a tweet yesterday and said, quote, the Cowboys and 49ers are both expected. Now, this is expected. He didn't say anything was happening, but he expects them to add defensive linemen before Tuesday's trade deadline. And the reason why it is, I think, of importance when he says it is because he doesn't just go and drop 35 tweets and hope to hit one. Dude will literally go ghost for 2-3 months and then just pop up like, hey, you might want to keep an eye out on high profile guy getting moved or getting signed. And then it just happened. So, and there's some speculation that Ricky said expected to add a defensive lineman before the trade deadline, not necessarily trade for a defensive lineman. But I think I don't see Ricky as a guy that is trying to play semantics here. I think he's talking about potentially a trade here. And it really does feel like, as I bring it back here, it really does feel like there is some smoke to the Cowboys adding some players or player, let me say that, at the trade deadline. And I know, and I wish I still had the tweet up. I took a screenshot of it. there's a lot of people that are saying, hey, nothing's happening, nothing's going to happen. And look, rightfully so, I feel you. That very well may be true. However, the Cowboys have made trades during the season. They have made trades. They just did it last year. They did it out of desperation, right? And it was not a good one. So the question I had proposed yesterday was, are things adding up to that? Is there real smoke? I think there is. I almost said Stephen Jones. Jerry Jones, and we'll get to that quote, trust me, y'all, who's known for the headlines, wants to be in the media, known to want the Cowboys to stir it up. In the midst of his team performing not great, defense being historically bad, you're not in the media right now for positive things, decides to go on the Stephen A. Smith show at Texas Live. Boy, if I was in Dallas, I would love to go to that just so I can just say some things. And this is going to be on Monday before the game, day before the trade deadline, on Stephen A. Smith's show. So it's going to probably go crazy on YouTube. He's going to say some things. He may even do some things, meaning he may even make a trade. And what better way to either A, make the trade and show up there and talk about it, or B, stir it up some more to keep the Cowboys in the mix. So I'll say this, and it may not happen, but I feel like something will happen. However, the question I proposed was, will this be a Jonathan Mingo type of trade, or will this be an Amari Cooper type of trade? Been a while since 2019 since you got a Coop type trade, but they've made the Mingo type trades, which that just completely bombed. They also have made the Jonathan Hankins type trade, which worked out, in my opinion. I think Hankins would be the middle, right? It's not Amari. It ain't Mingo. Hankins. And I said this to you guys a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week when we talked about it. I'll take a couple Hankins moves. I would. I'll take a couple of them things. But I really want the Amari team. That's what I want, personally. Will we get it? I don't know. At first, I was with a lot of y'all. No, we're not doing nothing impactful. We're not going to do anything crazy. But every once in a while, an Amari thing will happen. The George Pickens thing, when he's forced to do these things, mind you, Amari Cooper, George Pickens, these are positions that he loves to make these type of trades for. But they also were done because they were forced to do it. Right? They were forced to make a trade at receiver in 2018 2018 because of the actions that they did leading up to that season, or that point of the season at the position. Same thing with wide receiver. They were forced to make that move because they didn't take one in the draft and they didn't trade for one prior and didn't sign one. So they had to make that move. Is he going to be forced to make a big move because his defense is awful? That's what we have to ask ourselves. So as we get to the mailbag here, I do want to open up with that particular question in the sense of who and what would you do, et cetera, et cetera. So this show is mostly going to be a mailbag. Then I want to listen to you guys on your opinions of some things. And I figured it was just appropriate to start it off that way.
Shock the system. It's time. It is time for.
All right, scumbag, pay attention. It's time for mail call.
You've got mail.
Appreciate everybody that dropped your questions in the mailbag. Lots of them. We may even go OT and just do rapid fire on some of the ones. Y'all never disappoint. Never disappoint. Let's get to Mel. My guy Mel, West Coast brother. Yeah, Sky. You have free range, and again, you guys can participate, to make any 3 moves you want under one condition. You can't trade a first-round pick. What 3 realistic moves are you making? Example, no trading a 2 for Myles Garrett. So damn it. I can't go get Myles for a bag of Middlesworth? No? Okay. Cool. This one Like, I don't think they're going to make 3, but this is my question. This is what I can do. And that's to be realistic. So we're not getting the Max Crosby because that's going to take ones. Obviously not getting the Myles Garrett. That's going to take ones. We kind of talked about this a little bit. If you go and look at some of the options that we had here, and this was like last week, and this, again, not all these guys or something. I'm like, yeah, let's go do it. But there are a couple on here I said absolutely. One of them being Demario Davis. He would not be anything for the future. This would be just trying to solidify the middle of your defense from a linebacker standpoint. He's still playing really good ball, like I said last week. And he would be by far your best run defending linebacker. And he's, again, playing some damn good ball there. And it's not going to take you much of anything. In fact, you probably can trade Murray straight up for him without having to give up a pick in general. But late day 3 pick, we're talking 7th rounder, 6th rounders, maybe not even in 2026, maybe even 2027. So I got Demario Davis being one. Trade for Demario Davis. That's the first one. Trade for Trey Hendrickson. I'm going to stay on that bandwagon. Yes. Here's a caveat to Trey Hendrickson. I'm not trading him just for 2026 or 5, excuse me. I'm trading him and extending him for 2026 and beyond, right? The only problem with that, and again, this is what I would do. They drag these stupid things out, but I would trade for him and extend him with a whole George Pickens thing that could go down to the wire. That's probably going to be even more of a headache. However, I'm not operating like them. I'm operating like me. And I'm going for the gusto with a move like that. Meaning, I'm not bringing you in here just for 2025. I'm doing this with a 2 to 3 year plan in mind. And I got one more big one for you with that same plan in mind. Okay? So, well, what the hell are you going to trade, Sky? I'm not giving up no first. I know reports came out, not happening. There's 8 games left. I ain't even giving you a 2. So, you can't have that. But if you remember, I said, come here, Marshawn. Come have a seat, good brother. I would try to flip Marshawn Nealon. In conjunction with another pick, though, right? Like, I'd see. I don't know if they take it. We'll give you a young defensive end still in his rookie deal. He's got potential. I would talk this man all the way up, right? And say a 2027-3 that, hey, man, if Trey Hendrickson plays more than 70% of the snaps and gets 10, whatever, it goes to a 2. You know, one of those things where it goes to a better pick if the guy plays a great ball. Hey, if he becomes a Pro Bowler or All-Pro, one of those things. But I thought Marshawn Nealon, you can have him. And a 2027 third that can turn into a second, whatever. I really don't care about these second round picks no more. And I'm extending Trey. If you're going to trade for Trey and not extend him, then there's no point in trading for Trey. So again, what I would do, my moves, Demario Davis, trade Trey Hendrickson, throw Nealon in some 2027 day 2 pick, and I'm extending them. So those are 2. They're not taking Sam Williams. That's why I said Marshawn Nealon, because he got more upside at this point. He was on a rookie deal. You can still talk him up. You can't talk up Sam Williams anymore. My final one of the moves. Now, this one, you could argue possibly not realistic, but I can maybe I could talk you into it. Again, remember, I'm going for the gusto. I'm thinking about a 2 to 3 year window here. And I know you just paid this man a lot of money, but I've seen organizations say, I don't care. I can get a better player. We're moving on. I'm calling the New York Jets. Quentin Williams is on the block. I believe he is. That's what it seems like. He don't want to be there no more. I don't think you're keeping your DC, but it doesn't really matter because I don't give a damn who the DC is. Quentin Williams is better than Osa Odighizuwa. I'm straight up saying, look, Here's a young defensive tackle, 3-tech guy to replace your defensive tackle, 3-tech guy who doesn't want to be there anymore. We missed on this one. We'll give you, no, I wouldn't say we missed, but you don't want to tell him that. We'll give you Osa. And what do you want to, you're probably going to throw in another pick, maybe a 2. Again, I don't give a damn about that second round pick. If that's what they want, so be it. Quinnen's a dog. And give me Quinnen Williams. That's a big one that might be, but I don't think that's a terrible trade for the Jets. Because you're getting a guy who's locked up in Osa, who's 26 or whatever, right? He's locked up for the next 4 years. You could talk him up. And I'm not saying Osa's a bad player, right? But Quinnen Williams is a better player. And if you go look at their cap numbers over the next few years, they're the same. They're $20 million on a cap type guys. So you're not necessarily taking on another massive contract. Now you say, well, Sky, why not Clark? I think once you get once you get in a new defensive coordinator or even this year with better play around, Clark is still a better player currently. Now, obviously, Osa's the younger one and has the arrow pointing up where Clark is likely plateauing. Now, right now, neither are playing well. But I'm thinking, again, 2 to 3 years here. Clark ain't here for a long time. He's here for a good time. Quinnen could be here after Clark. Okay. So think about this for a second. Again, yes, these ain't happening. But he asked me. This is what Mel asked me. 3 moves. Think a bit realistic. I do. Realistic in the sense of individually, maybe not all together. So we playing a little Madden, to be honest. But could you imagine if you had a general manager and not old boy right here pretending to be one that was on the hot seat, that had the pressure, that had the gall to get aggressive, and you gave me a defensive line for the next 2 years, 3 years of Izaraku, who needs a bookend. That's why you go get Trey. Izaraku, Quinnen Williams, Kenny Clark, and Trey Hendrickson for the next 2 to 3 years. That's all I need it for. It don't work out. Go. And I'm not trying to. And if you look at what I'm presenting to these teams, I don't think it's gross. I don't think I'm beating them over the head. I'm giving the Jets a second round pick and also Digizua. I think that's fair. I'm giving Cincinnati a young defensive end to replace their old defensive end on a rookie deal, and I'm giving you a late day 2 pick that can maybe increase to a high day 2 pick. I think that's fair. And then Mark Davis, you can give them a pick 5 years from now. You can get him. He's easy to get, I think. So that's just where I'm at with it. I know they're not, again, Cowboys, they're not going to do it. But I was looking at these moves individually, and I do think they're not some far-fetched, out of this world moves to make. The Jets are done, right? It's a wrap. You can hit them up, they desperate, and that's not even a desperate trade. Drojop 5 said a more realistic move would be moving a 6 or 7 to the Browns for Tyron Shoinka. The hell is that? The Jones would tell us how much they loved him during the draft. I mean, that is their MO. They've done it with Elam. They've done it with Kenneth Murray, et cetera, et cetera. But in season, they've went out and got the Bennett's of the worlds. They went out and got the Mingos. They went out and got the Hankins. They went out and got guys that are a little bit more prominent. But yeah, I don't know who in the blue hell that guy is. Dro digging deep right there. Professor O, he said Quinnen Williams would be awesome, but I'm just going all in and giving Tennessee a 1 plus Nealon for Jefferson. Well, to Professor O, this is the question. I can't give a 1. I can't give a 1. But yeah, if I'm allowed to give up ones, yeah, I'm like I said yesterday, I'm not hanging the phone up until Mark Davis gets beat over the head to the point where he says, "That's it, Jerry. You got it. You won. You can have him." And I'm talking about Max Crosby. Like that's just what I would do. And like I said, in fact, I'm going out there and I'm taking them, on the strip, liquor them up a little bit. No, I can't say that's what I want to say. But you seen Hangover, right? Let's just say you seen Hangover. Give him the napkin, because they say Jerry always got a napkin with the numbers and stuff on it. And when Mark Davis is a little loopy, he signed off on it, and boom, you got yourself Crosby, right? That's what I would do. That's what I would do. All right. Wait a goddamn on minute now. Hold on. What the heck happened to my phone? Okay. You want to play game now, huh? All right. Yeah, they want to play me. All right, let's get to the second question. Now, this question is pertaining to, not even really a question. He just wants to know my thoughts on this. But honestly, I wanted to know y'all's, because y'all, I don't know how many more years I got to come on here and just keep telling y'all about the Jones. But so if you guys missed it, happened to be under a rock yesterday, Jerry Jones, or 2 days ago, whenever it was, Jerry Jones had an interview with Wall Street Journal and had a crazy quote. But G. Warner asked me, he says, got one for you, Scott. What's your take on your owner saying, and I quote, "That's why I'm talking to you on the telephone rather than trying to fix the Dallas Cowboys defense." So you missed the part before that. That really sets that up. Jerry Jones was talking to, I think it was Wall Street Journal, about businesses, right? I think a stock. And he said, quote, "There's $100 billion present value with gas out there." And he said, "That's why I'm talking to you on the telephone rather than trying to fix our defense with the Cowboys." And I think I hit up my brother and I was like, all I can do is laugh, because our owner, general manager, president, water boy, coach, cheerleader, whatever, is the ultimate troll. Not Eagle fans, not Giants fans, not Niner fans, not Packer fans, not Washington football people fans. No. Our owner is our biggest troll, and all I can do is laugh. Man, y'all know how I feel about this goofy. And I said something on Twitter, and the cockroaches came right on out. I said, there's still people who would defend this man. How? I don't even know how anymore. Even when he's spitting in your face right here. He's spitting in your face. Oh, well, this guy's just joking. Sure. That's the damn problem. This is a game and a joke to him. That's why I'm talking to you instead of fixing the cap. Now, he can go out here and make these trades and things like that, but boy, read the room, Jerry. Read the room, my guy. I mean, if you like getting spit on, or excuse my French, pissed on, and being told, nah, it's just raining, by all means, keep putting on that cape for this guy. By all means. Now, what I'm going to need you to do, Jerry, is pretend you turn the clock back. You broke as a joke, and you need to be aggressive to get this bread. That's what I'm going to need him to pretend, because that's when we got that aggressive Jerry Jones. Granted, obviously there was other factors that came into play with that. But I don't know what more I need to say. What more do I need to say? He's pissing on you, Troy, and telling you it's raining. And you like, that's my guy. That's my guy. He said we too sensitive. No, Playboy, we just tired of getting pissed on and told it's raining. Meanwhile, y'all are Kelly out here. I love it. At this point, the only delusional, like, again, I said this to y'all before. I don't like when people say Cowboy fans are delusional. No, we're not. Well, some of us. The only delusional part of this fan base are those that still believe in that man and his family. Those are the delusional ones. Everyone else is normal fans that just want the best for this organization, and then they know the best doesn't come with that guy and his family running an organization. That's not delusion. Delusion is buying everything him and his damn son do and say. That is delusion. When you keep getting beat over top of the head and pissed on and told it's raining. I ain't sensitive. That's realism. You are the delusional one. Not us. Not us, my friend. Twan, let's talk to you real quick before I get back to the mailbag. What's up, bro?
Sky, what's up? How you doing?
Well,
I just want to get off a little rant real quick.
Go ahead.
First of all, I want to start off with Trayvon Diggs. We all understand, those who pay attention understand Trayvon Diggs has got done wrong, right? But now we have content creators like Foots and Attack on Cowboys saying things like Elam needs to be benched and Elam needs to be off the team.
Hold on. What we not going to do, because I ain't that show. We're not going to come on here and talk about other content creators and by name and expect me to react in that way. If you disagree with them, go to their show and disagree with them like that. But you know what I'm saying? I don't want no problems over here, bro. Foots is my bro.
I ain't
me and old AOC ain't like that.
I apologize.
Yeah. Because listen, bro. I'm not. I don't do that whole thing on how they've been doing this whole thing on. I'm not that guy. I'm not the one. So I don't really. You know what I'm saying?
So I apologize. I apologize.
Are you good? I'm just saying. Before you go too crazy and start saying this and that and call it, I'm just gonna shut it down right there.
Yeah, no, because I ain't gonna disrespect nobody's name. But it's like now y'all see Elam needs to be off the field, and he was the first DB who should have been off the field. Him or Donald. I agree with you. We're not keeping Eberflus, but like I said, Sky, last week, we need to make a trade. We have to make a trade. And from what you're saying, I'm kind of leaning towards Williams from the Jets now and Trey from Cincinnati. Our window to catch the Eagles is now, Sky. And I'm going to break it down to you like this. We have the Cardinals, we have the bye week, we have the Raiders, then we have the Eagles. The Eagles have Green Bay, Detroit, and us. We can catch them. Sky.
So
we can.
I think we have to focus on ourselves, right? I don't mean fans. As fans, yes. we can. That's fine. We can look outward. But I think the Cowboys should be looking at how the heck do we improve week to week, get better to go 1-0 each week, and not look at Philly and whatnot. Because you're not out of it obviously yet to catch them, right? But we saw a couple years ago they did it to themselves. You took care of business and you ended up catching them and winning the division. So just do what you can do to improve your squad at the trade deadline to try to win each week. And then if the Eagles falter, they falter. I'm at the point right now. What can I say about that stupid ass franchise? I'm sick of it because they just keep finding ways. But so we just gotta look inward, brother.
No, we really do. This game, I feel like we should blow the Cardinals out. But Sky, the harsh reality, Kyler Murray has never lost in AT&T Stadium.
He might not play though, but you're right. But he might not play. It's getting a little weird.
He might not play?
Yeah, he might not play. He was supposed to speak yesterday, I think, and they moved it. And the last 2 weeks they did that, he didn't play. He's still dealing with an injury. So, but look, even if he doesn't play, Brissett got enough weapons out there where it can be a problem for you if you don't get home. So I don't care who the quarterback is. This defense is so bad right now. I have no confidence. If they do it, awesome, great, whatever. They need to show me consistency and they need to add more talent over there. But yeah.
Yeah. We just gotta win, Sky. We gotta win. It sucks that we're in this position that every game is a must win now. in all reality. Just because we're in 10th place.
Yeah,
but that's all
that's
I
what your
got,
coach
Sky.
said.
Cowboys Nation.
Appreciate
Cowboys
you,
Nation,
Twan.
peace and love.
Thank you. Yeah, your coach, I think Schotty said something along those lines. He didn't say must win, but he's now taking the season as a do or die in a sense, right? And I kind of had to look at Schotty like, hey, maybe take that approach sooner. And we'll get to Schotty too, but you mentioned Flus, and somebody had asked a question in the mailbag. He said, this was King. Shouts out to King Anino. He said, I get that having 4 defensive coordinators in 4 years is bad. Yes. But realistically, what would be the plan for bringing back a guy that led a bottom 1 defense? The only thing I could think of, if they went there, would be for continuity purposes. That's all I could think of, because maybe, like you said, 4 defense coordinators in 4 years, that they'll look at it and say, we don't want to do that. And maybe they look at this board and say, we don't want to do it for the 9th, 10th time in the last decade plus, right? But at some point, you can't reward ineptitude. And bringing Flus back, if this continues down the path it's going down, is ineptitude, is rewarding him. Now, to be fair, it ain't like I don't believe they did everything in their power to, make this defense an above average defense. Hell, we went into the season saying this was going to be a team carried by its offense. And then when they traded Voldemort, I had nothing for you. I had nothing for you. It has to be because of continuity. But here's my thing about it though. If they do, and as they should, bring in a new defensive coordinator, they have to get aggressive in overhauling the defense. And honestly, even if they bring that man back, which I don't think they should, they have to get aggressive in overhauling the defense. And here's why I'm saying they shouldn't. This unit is not buying into this. I don't think this coordinator can rally the troops in that manner. He may be more damn football than I forgot, right? But then there's the other side of coaching. Like I said, is, hey, can you get guys that have a particular set of skills to play to those strengths? That's not the case here. Hey, can you be diverse enough to say, all right, what I want to do doesn't necessarily quite fit, so let me remix it. That's not who he is. So I think it is necessary to move on from him, even if you do overhaul the defensive talent. But if you just do a little bit to add to defensive talent, are we confident that Flus is going to get the best out of that said player? Because look, Osa's not terrible, but Osa's not playing well. Kenny Clark's not terrible. Kenny Clark's not playing well. Maris Leofau has a particular set of skills, but he's not playing well. We know some of our defensive backs are not terrible players either, but they're not playing. Like, when every unit is playing terribly, I gotta look at you, coach. Can you get something out of this is a serious question to the chat here. This is a serious question. Who is playing above who they've been before? Who? Izaraku's a rookie, so I'm saying there is no before with him. But who is playing above or even at the level of who they've been before? Solomon Thomas has played like this before under White Cotton. This isn't new with Solomon Thomas. Woo. Again, not saying he has the greatest of players over there. I've seen Maris play better than him. I've seen Osa play better than this. I've seen it. I've actually seen Jack play better than this, but that's his guy, right? Let me see here. Nobody, Mozzie. Y'all playing. No one, nobody, said the professor. Yeah. Not one part, like not one, like he can't get one. It ain't one dude in that defensive room like, nah, that's my guy. I'm finna run through the wall for my guy. Not one. With all due respect to him, this may not be the time nor place for what he's trying to accomplish, because this organization is not going to go out and spend $150 million on defense. They're not going to do it. And I said this about Osa last night, and I think this is my fault because I kind of glossed over and ignored the prototype. And I mentioned it, but I glossed over it. I said, yeah, Osa's not the particular size that Flus wants, but he does play the 3-tech and he plays the style that Flus wants. But that ain't that's not the type of guy he wants. Flus literally said in Chicago, they asked him what type of defensive lineman interior specifically do you like? And he said he likes them long, length, size, relax. But that's what you know what I'm saying? That's what he likes from his defensive line, interior defensive lineman. Osa 6'2", 280 pounds. You go look at who he likes at 3-tech or just in general up there, but mostly 3-tech is 6'4", 6'5", 6'6". Hell, DeForest Buckner 6'7", 295, 300 at the very minimum. That ain't no. And to be fair, and when the trade went down, we said this. Kenny Clark's a 3-tech. Kenny Clark is not a 1-tech, but he has to play that in this scheme. So unless they're going to overhaul this particular scheme, go get dudes. I do think you have to move on. So to answer the question, the only realistic way you bring him back is if you do a crazy turnover defensively and you say, we don't want to go through this again. But I'm sorry. Yes, Perion Winfrey. He's literally, if you go look at all the shows we did talking about Perion Winfrey, I said, this is the guy that fits the mold at defensive tackle. You know, I joking around with half joking. With Vach, I said, man, the way he's playing, if we can just get a poor man's David Irving out of Perion Winfrey, I'll take it. Now it's too late. The back injury, and that's not fair to Perion, you know, whatever, putting that expectations on him. But even still, Perion Winfrey's not your saving grace here. Go get dudes. Like when I think when Flus got to Indianapolis, I want to say he did not have DeForest Buckner. And Indianapolis went out and got DeForest Buckner. The same problem happened, again, to be fair to Flus, the same problem happened with Zim. Same problem. They did not give Zimmer the guys he wanted, to the point Zimmer came out at a practice and called them out respectfully. He said, yeah, we need nose tackle help. And they still did the bare minimum to do that. They said, all right, Zim, we're going to give you your guy, Linval Joseph, out the rocking chair. Then Zim got, I wish they'd have brought him back. Zim got pissed at the end of the season and said, yeah, I wish they'd let me, I wish I did what I wanted to do to start off this whole damn thing. And he's a prime example, in my opinion, of getting something out of, making chicken out of chicken shit. Respectfully, Mozzie Smith is chicken shit. And Mozzie Smith at least flashed last year. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Maris is chicken shit, but Maris showed you something last year. I don't think they fool with Maris. So I don't know how you bring him back. I really don't. You know what else is chicken shit? My picks on Sleeper, y'all. And again, I'm real. I'm very real. I'm not going to sit there and lie to y'all and say copy my picks. I'm just showing y'all the picks that I do. I felt so good about this. I felt so good about this damn card. or whatever you want to call it, this ticket on Sleeper for Thursday Night Football. Lamar Jackson returned. I said, Lamar Jackson finna turn up. And he did. He had 4 touchdowns last night. So I hit the more on a 1.5 pass touchdown. I said, well, give me that easy. But I also thought Lamar was going to come back and want to run. He didn't, man. I had more than 35.5 rush yards, and he didn't, man. I thought A-Chain was going to hit pay dirt. He didn't, man. But again, you don't have to listen to me. But you still can play and get 100% match up to $100 by using my promo code STEELE. They're doing a great promo right now, a free $20 entry, no deposit needed, and you still get that 100% match. Now, Monday, I'll be back here giving y'all my picks for the Cowboys game. But I wanted to review my picks from last night. Lamar had 4 tutties last night. They should say, you know what, Sky? He doubled what we said, so we're going to go ahead and give you Lamar. But it's all good, man. Make sure y'all hit up Sleeper app. Download that thing right now. Get your picks in for Sunday, then get your picks in for Monday as well. Turn your sports knowledge into a payday. Use the promo code STEELE to get 100% match up to $100. Big A, I'm just keeping it a buck. And because we're talking just football here. We're talking on the field. No disrespect to these. That's why I say no disrespect to these players as people. Right? But hey, man. Some of them been out there trash. It's Friday. It's spooky season. I want to bring in our guy, Toxic Tom, man. How you feeling, big dog?
Hey, good morning, Sky.
Good morning.
And now that makes me laugh because sometimes when you call people out for not doing what they're supposed to be doing, people get all up in their feelings. But you have a guy that's an all-pro, but he's on an itty-bitty podcast, and they just lose their fucking minds. You know, it's funny how that always works. Anyway, I digress. You know, so I know I read the Wall Street Journal every morning. So when I read that, I already knew about Jerry Jones with Comstock and his public trainings. But, man, when you're the leader of an organization and you are making off-the-hip comments, there's a little bit of truth in what he said. That's the point of humor. There's a little truth in what it is. And I read that, and I just put it down. I'm like, good Lord, this guy just doesn't give a shit. He's that old dude that just says whatever the fuck he wants, and he knows that there's going to be no consequences for it. And it's the perfect representation of the Dallas Cowboys, a front-runner, soft franchise that's all talk and never puts up anything when it needs to put up. It's just, I couldn't believe he said it, but then when I thought about it, he truly did say it. Now, I wanted to ask you a question. What's your opinion on Schotty right now?
Oh, you know what? Well, I got you on the phone. Let me just go ahead and get to that final question in the mailbag because it does pertain to Schotty. And it comes from Jeff. Jeff says, why is Schotty so scared with the number 1 offense in football? Why would we ever punt the ball with the worst defense? And I think it's a great segue because I kind of talked about this, I think, with, I want to say, it was with 2i on the show if y'all went back and watched it. But I'm fine with Schotty except for this part. This I think is the most criticism I'm going to give him is that he is not aggressive enough. I think he is way too nice to his defense right now. He is being he's trying to not stir it up, but sometimes I think confrontation is all right. And if you gotta cuss out your dang coach, or not cuss him out, but be stern with him. Like, what is going on that side of the ball? And if you got to do it by showing, by doing it through the actual gameplay, by saying we're backed up on our 29 on 4th down, we're still going for it because of how trash your defense is. That's a way to send a message as well. But when you're 78% 4th down conversion rate, which is 6th in the NFL, you've converted 7 out of 9, which is it's not like it's no sample size. That's a big enough sample size to me to say let's do it. You need to do it more because it's the 5th fewest. It's the 5th fewest, and you have a terrible defense on the other side of the ball. So that part to me is the most frustrating part about Schotty is that he is not aggressive enough in these situations. He's way too nice is the word I'm going to use to the other side of the ball in this defensive coordinator. I'm not asking you to come out and cuss him out in the media. I'm not asking you to even do it privately. But what I need you to do is show it some way, somehow to your players and at least to the fans that, yeah, I understand we have a terrible defense and I'm going to do everything in my power to control, not the narrative, but control what I can control to make sure that the defense doesn't lose us games. And he's not doing it. You know, the Denver Bronco game should be that is like the picture perfect game to show that Schotty is playing extremely conservative and trusting his defense way too much. But other than that, man, I think year 1, 8 games in, for the offense side of ball, for what he is at the podium and with the players and guys buying into him, I think he's on the way. Do I think he can overcome that man at the top? I don't think anybody can, but we're trying to just do what we can do in that locker room. And I think Schotty has it. I don't think the other guy does, meaning Flus.
So the reason why I ask is I view Schotty as the head football coach, but to me, he's the one that's out in the field right now. This is his legacy. I'll put it like that. He has been wanting to be a head coach for decades, and he finally gets the opportunity, and he has a shit heel on the other side that refuses to adapt and not buy into what he is preaching. Now, everything you said about the offense, I 100% agree. But I'm looking at him now, and I'm saying, as you pointed out at the very beginning of the show, Schotty, man, nice guys are for barbecues. I need you to be a head coach right now, and I need you to put your nuts on the line and get rid of your problem. Because if I'm a defender and I'm looking at Schotty, I'm like, dude, you see this guy doesn't work. You see he's not listening. He's not what you are about of your core competencies that you brought when he first came in. He was talking about adapting to players and their needs.
What is it?
Are
you talking about like Schotty making a decision on Flus?
I would love Schotty to act like a head coach and realize that, look, yeah, you may want this guy, then effing fire me. Like, because at the end of the day,
no,
I'm the one paying for this.
No,
Go ahead.
brother. I'm not getting fired because of Flus. Like, I'm not saying you fire Flus or fire me. I ain't doing that shit. But I don't think Schotty because he's on to something. Schotty is on to something with this offense. He's on to something with this philosophy. But I don't think he has the power to fire Flus, bro. I don't. And if you're saying the ultimatum is fire me, or if you don't fire him, like, I'm not putting my job on it. You just said it. This is Schotty's first go about it. Like, I ain't doing all of that. Now I'll go to the Joneses and express my frustrations and things like that, and maybe you get to the point, if you have enough juice, like eventually Mike did, to get Kalinip out of there, then cool. But I wouldn't be willing to risk my job to do so that I just got, and our offense is playing out of its mind right now. But I don't know what can he can't fire him. So I think what he has to do is be more aggressive on game day to show that, like you said, to his players, his offensive players, that, look, y'all, I can't control that side of the ball, but I got you over here.
And I guess then I would always just ask then, to what limit? And because I think he has leverage right now, and he can say, look, I have the number one offense. I'm trying to win football games. You need to, I just can't identify with another man that would be okay to be publicly walked like a dog and take the bullets for someone else's fuck ups. That, to me, just blows my mind.
But that is the job of a leader, though, brother. That's the job of the leader,
right.
The head coach. He can't come out public. That's what I said. I'm not asking him to come out publicly and be like, this guy is shit. This guy is trash. He has to take the bullets. He has to do that.
Yeah.
Privately, however, you go to you go to them and you say, look, I can't. We got to make a decision. And if they say, well, I'm not, then you just have to do whatever you can do to control what you can control, right? And then hopefully in the offseason, they can move on. But I think as a leader, I mean, you can speak to this. You were in the Army. Like, maybe it's a little different, but I don't know if you want to publicly to your enemies show that, all right, there's a divide, or all right, this is our weakest link, but there's nothing we can do about the weakest, because then I'm just going to keep coming at that guy. You know what I'm saying?
No, I 100% agree. And the one difference between the Army is if you publicly speak out, you go to prison. So the fact that you have a choice now, and it's like, and that's what I love about being a civilian, is I've been asked to be working with people that I know are like Jerry Jones, and they've offered me way more money. And I just know that if I accepted that gig, I would become an Unsullied. They would clip my nuts, and I would be paying for their mistakes, and I'd have to stand in front of a podium with cute little catchphrases and a visor to go, well, we're trying this, we're trying that, when I know damn well if I would have gone to any other franchise, I would have been able to pick my DC. That's the part that's just is so infuriating.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he feels it yet, though, because like there's an aspect of, I'm happy to be here with Schotty. Like, let's be real. That's not a knock on who he is as a coach. It's just, man, 30 years or whatever it's been in the league, and he got his shot with this franchise. But now I think he's starting to feel, okay, yeah, there's a different type of pressure, or I understand the pressure. Let me just say that. And it's not necessarily me, I'm making mistakes here and there. It's going to happen. But dude, you've been a DC for like, why is my defense looking like this? General manager, are you going to do anything about it? I think there's little hints of him talking about being in the room, right? We got to be better as coaches. If you notice, he says coaches a lot first. I think there's little respectful ways he's saying they have to be better on that side of the ball without isolating them, right? Like, they asked him, hey, man, look at the offensive numbers. How do you feel about that in the defense? He says, shove them offensive numbers up your ass. We're losing. Like, that's a respectful way of saying, I don't care how well the offense is playing. As a team, we're not playing well. That's basically saying, respectfully, Flus, get your shit together, right? But not in a, I'm going to call you out publicly and berate you publicly type of way, because as a leader, you should not do that to your coach, because then you really will get a divide. And I don't think they're good enough to have, you're not good enough to go Mike Ditka and Buddy Ryan, right? Like, you can't do that shit, right? Like, those boys ready to throw blows, because those two sides of the ball were so well run and great, and one was historically arguably the greatest of all time, that they didn't have to talk to each other. You run the O, I run the D, right? So it's not there.
Yeah.
You can't do, especially, bro, when your players ain't really buying into that man either, and it could just really fracture the locker room. So I think what he has to do is privately try to get something happen, and then publicly continue to be the leader that he is and taking all of this, because that's what you got. Man, it's going to happen. Head coach, quarterback. Unfortunately, that's the name of the game.
And the last thing I'll say is, it's unfortunate, because if there's one thing the Cowboys are really good at, it's wasting people's careers. And you have a legitimate chance. You have something the NFL wants. You finally have a guy like Clayton Adams, who you will not be able to keep very long, because other teams are going to see this too. You have to capitalize when it's time. This whole let's wait, address it in the draft shit. Dude, this isn't a savings bond. Like, you have to cash in while you can. And if you don't, you're just going to be in the same cyclical, self-licking ice cream cone of, we'll address this later, and it will never be a full, complete product. Other than that, hey, everybody, have a safe, fun Halloween other than the Joneses. Y'all have a lovely day.
Appreciate you, Toxic. Good stuff right there, man. Good conversation. And you're right, Professor O. The way to say that is by not punting on fourth down, is by being aggressive. Like we said, you're not going to say publicly, get your shit together, but you can do it on the field. I'm backed up on my 29, 4th and 3. I'm going for it. Your defense coordinator might look at you and say, what are you doing? Punt the ball. No. Because your defense is trash. You're playing 15 yards off the ball on 3rd and 5. But the way he has to send the message, I think, is by being more aggressive on 4th down. So when you say, why is he so scared with number one offense? Football, why would you ever punt the ball with the worst defense in football? It says Jet. Yes is what I'll say to that. 78% conversion. Granted, only 9 attempts, but that's the way to send the message in a respectful way. Does he have the juice yet? I don't think he does. It took McCarthy how many years to get enough juice to get rid of Kellen? 3? Took 3 seasons. 2020, 21, 22. I damn sure hope it don't take no goddamn 3 seasons. Take no goddamn 3 seasons for this guy. I'm hoping that by season's end, he sees, hopefully the offense continues to play as well. In fact, gets better. And then get a couple guys back defensively, and you see some of these individual guys say, okay, there's something here, but this isn't the guy for it. And Schotty can respectfully say, hey, look, we tried it your way. They're not firing Flus in the season. We tried it your way. Let me go find my guy. Now, something I said on the collective, because the Cowboys tend to do this. They tend to have a lasting memory of things that don't work out and then use that as an excuse. Example, Brandon Carr was signed as the last big money free agent. They still talk about Brandon Carr and not making those moves. Hey, man, we tried that before. You know, Mike McCarthy, when he brought in a new regime, said, Mike, hire your defense coordinator. Brought in his buddy, didn't work out, right? And they asked that, and they brought in Dan. And they say, yeah, look what happened. We brought in Dan, yeah. All right. Dan moves on. Hey, Jay, I'm thinking about, we don't care what you're thinking about, Big Mike. We're bringing in Zimmer. Now that he's not here, I can say it if I didn't already say he didn't want Zimmer. Mike McCarthy did not want Zimmer. And not just on like, oh, well, yeah, of course, Sky, you know, this is what they do. Mike Zimmer, this is legit. Real life thought he was not getting the job because Mike McCarthy didn't fuck with him. Excuse me. Didn't, you know what I mean? That's madness to me. Yeah. Look, I get Mike McCarthy struck out with the DC, but damn it, you cannot fracture the coaching locker room like that. So he brings in Zimmer. What happens? Zimmer can't bring in his own guys. They keep other guys around. And Zimmer's not happy about it. He keeps his Packer dudes around. Zim leaves, obviously, because you change coordinators. And what happens? You bring in a comfy, cozy coach in Schotty. But before you do that, we're going to go with what we know. Former defensive coordinator who was happens to be a head coach before. And bring in a guy that we're comfortable with. Matt Eberflus. Your head coach didn't get a chance to pick him. Matt Eberflus spilled the beans in his interview with the Doomsday Podcast. But it never really made waves because I think we all pretty much assumed that this was the case. But Matt Eberflus said, yeah, when I came in here to talk to the Joneses, I'm really good friends with Steven and Jerry, and I love them, and yada, yada, yada. When I came in here to talk to the Joneses, they didn't have a coach yet. And then Jerry just basically confirmed it, yeah, when I brought in, da-da-da-da-da. You cannot do that. So, long-winded, I say that to say, if Schotty keeps us up offensively, Clayton Adams, Connor Riley, these are the guys Schotty brought in. Hopefully he goes and says, look what I did offensively. Look what I did with the coaching staff. Let me get my guy. We tried it your way. It didn't work out. But they tend to stick with, oh, it didn't work out with Mike when we let him pick. Oh, it didn't work out when we signed Brandon Carr because they think they shit don't stink. Troy, your general manager thinking shit don't stink. Marco, what's up, brother?
What's up, brother? Scott, I wanted to say, if I was the Cowboys, I was saying the Cleveland Browns 4 first-round picks. I'm going to get Myles Garrett. They can get anything they want. And, I mean, I just don't see why we wouldn't do that. I see the Eagles are talking about 3 first-round picks and a player. That's crazy. We can't let the Eagles get them. That'll be impossible.
Yeah, You know what? I almost said I don't think that's gonna happen, but damn it, I bet you I know Howie is 100% picking up the phone to try to make it happen. They tried to get Micah. What you? Hey Howie, listen, brother. Howie, look, I know you're gonna do whatever you can do, but damn it, no. Okay, that's the one guy you can't be calling the Cowboys for. Chill out, big dog.
Scott, that's crazy. They don't care. Jerry Jones, they care
look,
about their people too much.
Look, these dudes, I think they traded the same player like 2 or 3 times this year already. They traded for John Mechie. They said, this ain't working. Traded his ass again to try to get cornerback help. They traded for a guard and said, this ain't working. They traded his ass again to try to get offensive line help. They look at their mistakes and say, this shit ain't working. And they move on. We try to stretch our mistakes.
for 2-3 years, we like, he gonna come along. No, he's not gonna come along, bro. Hey Scott, and I gotta say this, bro. I don't see a way of us making it to the playoffs, and I want us to go to the playoffs. I just don't see the way. I mean, we got beat by the Panthers and the Bears. How can we? The Bears. I don't see how we gonna make the playoffs, brother. I just don't.
The path looks.
So that makes me wonder.
Yeah, the path looks
bleak.
Would you
trade
right
your pick
because of the defense, but yeah, I'm not. That's why I always say, Marco, one game at last year and this year is definitely one game at a time because I don't even want to hear about playoffs. I don't even want to hear it, dog.
Hey, Scott, this is my last point. We knew who Eberflus was. Why they try to trick? Why do we fall for this we know who. Every time I look at the Bears, I never say their defense is good. They're mediocre. If their best, they're mediocre.
They had a really good defense 1 out of the 2.5 years he was there. But again, it was because they went out and got the type of guys for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I had this conversation with Foots. Go ahead.
Do you think that? So you think Eberflus is good, or what do you think?
So I think Eberflus is a respectable defensive coordinator when he has dudes. He's very much the Jason Garrett of defensive coordinators. When Jason Garrett had his horses, we were fine. When he didn't, Tony was covering up a lot of things. I don't think he's multiple enough to make a J-Ron Curse into a Pro Bowl level player. I don't think he's good enough to take a Michael Parsons and make him the best pass rusher in the world. You know what I'm saying? He's like Dan Quinn got in here and said, I know what I did in the past, but I'm switching it up to fit these guys. And look, Dan Quinn, he's not the greatest in the world, but Dan Quinn is multiple. I think Flus is a guy that says, this is what I do. I need these particular set of guys to run what I do. And if he doesn't have them, he's not good enough or multiple enough to put other guys in different positions to succeed. He needs it. When he had it in Indianapolis, they had good defenses. When he had it in Chicago, they had good defense. But in Dallas, he is not good enough to present him with average to below average guys across the board and say, hey, man, give us a solid defense. He ain't that type of guy. Because if you go look at and think about what Dan Quinn did in some of these years with the defense, and we had Micah, obviously, but Diggs got hurt, but since Dan dipped out of here, what's up with Diggs now, right? Like, what's up with Osa now, right? Like, what's going on with the backer situation? Like, there's a lot of spots where the coaching has not improved this year, at least, has not made any of these guys' particular set of skills stand out. At least Dan did that with a couple dudes.
Scott, should we make Zimmer our head coach and just hire Schottenheimer as the offensive coordinator? I thought somebody would have worked out a little better because Schotty was going to wait anyways. He didn't have nowhere to go. I mean, and I think Zimmer had a little scheme that double A gap mug that was starting to work, but that was with Micah though. But Scott, this is funny. The guys that we hired, the new guys we hired, sit down with Jerry and said, I think we could get this. We could be better if we trade Micah. What kind of drugs are y'all on? I went and told him, man, if you trade Micah, I quit. You get somebody else to do this job. Well, hey, Scott, my last point, happy birthday, brother. My birthday was on the 21st, and I know you was October baby, too.
Yes,
happy birthday, brother. Be blessed, man.
Appreciate you. Yeah, listen, no, I'm not going to go. And when I say OVO, I just mean literally we're October's very own because I don't claim OVO. That OVO, weird now. But I don't want to keep going back to the Voldemort thing. We know what happened. Jerry let his feelings get hurt and all this other stuff. But what pisses me off is that there were so many people coping so hard, thinking that this was a great move and we were going to be so much better, and because it is, and the locker room, podcast, yada yada yada. Run deep, man. Boy, I want to be so petty, but that's just not my nature. Just don't let that team. Don't let them. Don't let them do what they're trying to do. And don't let him be a big reason of, So I'm going to just chill for now and root like hell these boys flame out in round 1 and all that other stuff. But either way, I don't give a damn if they do. You can't possibly look at this situation and be like, yeah, we made out. I don't want to go back, though. I don't want to do this because I'm very passionate about this BS decision. Nick NBA said ultimate hurt. If you've been around after postseason failures or other teams' postseason success, because look, I think this is what you should do in the league is you should be a copycat. What I often do is I'll put on my general manager hat and say, okay, what did this team do that's been successful in this season or was successful for seasons? What did they do? Let's go see. We've done this project many a times where we say, okay, they did this, they did that. We need to copy that, right? We usually will review other teams' success and the moves that they made. There's only one if that team does that. And you help. Somebody talk to me before I get upset. Mo Money, what's up, bro?
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So today's your birthday, is that correct?
My birthday was Sunday. Usually over the last few years I would do a birthday stream, but I didn't do one this year because it was on a Sunday. But yeah.
Yeah, all good. Mine was the 21st also. I think one of the callers called.
Yeah, Marco said his was the 21st. Yep.
Yeah, the October, man. A lot of babies be made in February. That's all I'm trying to say. That time of the year, right?
Yes, sir.
That's
yes,
how
sir.
we end up here.
You wild.
That's how we end up here in October. I wasn't as upset about the Jerry Jones, $100 billion deal posting and so forth, man, because the people are always looking for a reason to, exploit something like that. I mean, the reality is this. The guy's a businessman. He runs a business. He runs the Dallas Cowboys. He's a general manager. He's wearing a lot of hats, and he's also 83 years old. I don't need Jerry in there watching film and trying to figure out if DeMario Davis is a good fit or not. I mean, that's not really what he does. I think people still think that, but that's not even really the case. So it doesn't bother me. The reality is he's handling a lot of things, and he probably the point is the opposite to me. It's like, dude, he's got a $100 billion deal on the table, and he's still talking about the defense. So you can tell he's consumed with it. I just didn't see it that way. I think that's just like petty stuff to me, to be honest.
I look at it the other way.
That's what
he's got a defense that's putrid and a fan base of 100 million people, and he's trolling.
Yeah.
Because of he's literally trolling because we all say he cares about the money more, which is obvious. The Cowboys are no longer his priority. And he's literally just trolling you. So I look at it the other way. You look at it as like, you're looking at it from his owner standpoint, which is fair. As an owner standpoint, $100 billion, that's awesome. But you still hold the general manager title, and you still won't you won't give it to someone else and let them have total control. So while, yes, he's not crunching the tape, he also is insulting your intelligence by acting like he is when he goes on there talking about what we need to do defensively and all this other stuff. And he's also not giving the ultimate autonomy to a real general manager. He's giving a lot of that to his son, who is not a general manager. And then you got Will McClay, who's being asked to go look for these particular players because his son is cheap and Jerry don't care. And now Will is going to get the brunt, and as he should, because he hasn't been good enough in going grocery shopping, going Uber Eats shopping. So I do think it's a problem when you set up your organization to be ran and broken down like that, as opposed to you're the general manager. You make the decisions on trades, contracts, and drafts. And if you don't get it done, we fire you. That's not the case here.
Yeah.
Him and his general manager, his son, can't be fired. Thus, there is no pressure to succeed. It's just we got to hang around the rim. And eventually it'll happen. Like, so you see it from an owner standpoint. I see it from a general manager, team building standpoint. And the way he's building, way he sets up the team building aspect, I don't even think it's even a question anymore. It is not, that does not work. Like,
no, I'm with you on that. I agree with that. Like the structure as it sets up, you know, I'm already just confined to just, you know, resigned to the fact that that's not going anywhere. That's why I didn't even, you know, because the structure as it sets up, as many of us know, is not really one that you know, is conducive for good, you know, a good flow there. Obviously,
team building. If I don't know how long you've been here, Mo, enough for me to put your name in here, but you probably often have heard me say, "Hey, man, we just have to overcome it," right? Like you've heard me say that.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And that's just me being numb to the situation to an extent that, unfortunately, like you said, this shit ain't changing. So somehow we have to overcome it, which isn't fair, I think, to the coaches and players.
And that's kind of where I got that. That's where I came in with my initial conversation. I already know what it is, bro. It's like he's wearing a lot of hats. He's 83 years old. I just don't think. I mean, I don't know why 103.5 or 105.3 keeps bringing him on and asking him about, you know, coverages and twist stunts and stuff. I'm like, bro, really? You think you're getting good info there?
I guarantee you right now they're not asking him about no coverages and twist stunts. That ain't happening. That's Jerry Jones coming out here. You're why do they bring him on? Jerry.
Of course. Of course. You can't get any bigger than that. So your radio station, your station is going to always be, you know, top billing nationally because you have, you know, one of the most polarizing figures in all of sports on the radio all the time. So of course you're going to have that natural feed. So, but the thing is, to me, that's what a lot of this is. That's why I try to, you know, pick and choose as far as how much I take that stuff seriously, because it's like, yo, between the people who are trying to get clicks and trying to get, you know, stuff and trying to push people's buttons and trying to rage bait and everything else, some of this stuff makes sense, some of it doesn't, and you got to try to sort through the trash and try to stay on track. And the main thing is what we should be talking about is, do we need to either bring the defensive coordinator back and keep him, or do we need to fix the players to match it? Because I like what you said earlier when you said, you know, it's not that Flus is terrible. It's just he has a system, and in his system, he needs his dudes. You talked about Osa being a shorter levered player. Man, we could have got Calais Campbell for pennies, and we got to see him this week in Arizona.
Right.
Like, the dude is 6'8", and he's long, and he's a tough guy to move.
Who makes the decisions
I'm sorry, did you say?
On the coaches, Mo?
I'm sorry, I lost you there. Would you say who makes the decisions on the coaches?
On the coaches? Oh, and the players, since you brought them up too. Who makes those decisions? But let's just stick with the coaches for right now.
Yeah, I mean, of course,
say his name.
It's Jerry.
Okay, all right. So when you say we got to focus on yada yada yada, unfortunately, it comes back to that fake ass general manager. Now, when the coach is making the decision, when the general manager is making a decision on the coaches, go look at his coaching decision resume and tell me you got the ultimate confidence in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man. Like, it's tough. It's the classic, you know, cereal, no milk, ham, no burger. So I feel like, you know, Schotty, okay, you stumbled across that situation, and that kind of lined up. You had him in the house, you know, but you're saying Schotty didn't select Flus, and therefore, you know, Schotty's kind of working with Flus the best he can to make it happen, you know, and then also he, you know, who did the analysis on what type of players do we have that we can bring in? And the question is this: do you care about that, or do you say, hey, we ultimately want to build to the right system and so forth? Because I still say, for those people who, you know, crying about Baltimore being gone, is the bottom line is we talked about this. He's a masking agent. He's a makeup, you know, cover up for the fact that we had holes all over this defense, and that needed to be fixed because we were never going to go far in the playoffs once exposed. So we needed to remove that, you know, pull that Band-Aid off, because either we weren't going to have enough money to build a defense, or we were going to keep going in the same direction the way we were with him trying to cover up for the defense, which isn't going to work. So I know this is what this year is. So we, like you said, game to game, we'll see if they stick or somehow something grows and they actually kind of learn something together and get a halfway decent defense together. But that's what we're down to. Otherwise, do you really think that a player or two can make a difference? I don't know. It could. It's possible because, the coverage and stuff is not there. And if you get the coverage there, I think that you can get some pressure. But I don't know. I'd be curious to see what you think on that. It's like, is there a move that can be made? I know y'all said on the collective that you'd be good with, making a move even if you gave up 2 firsts for Crosby, because Crosby's extended. He's going to be here for 3 years, right? So that makes a little bit of sense.
100% Crosby. Do I think one particular move saves your defense? I wouldn't say saves your defense. I think you need a multitude of moves. I think there is one particular move that doesn't involve a player that could at least inspire these guys or something, and that is moving on. But I don't think they're going to do that in season. I think this is something where you need multiple moves, and it doesn't stop just at the trade deadline. This is free agency during the season. This is free agency after the season. This is more trades after the season. That's right. For now, from here on out, to me, this isn't just about the next 8 games. This is about the next 40. You know what I'm saying? The next 40 games, meaning the next 2.5 years is how I'm looking at this thing. So if I can improve this year for 8 games, awesome, because I just need to improve a little bit. But also some of those moves, I need to make sure that they bleed into 26 and 27, which is why when Mel asked me the question, I brought up Quentin Williams and Trey Hendrickson. Like I would trade for Trey, extend him, trade for Quentin, and now I got Izaraku, Trey, Quentin, and Clark, and I'm like, I got 2.5 years. I got 2.5 years. I'm going all in for 2.5 years, and then we'll tear it down. Yeah.
Well, and look, and I I like my theories and stuff when I come on here. So here's my theory. Look, no matter what the team is, there's 5 ways that a team can improve, and you got to look at your team and ask yourself these questions: did they improve through the draft? 1, did they improve through free agency / trades? 2, did they improve by the players who were injured getting healthy? 3, did they improve by the players who are on the team getting better? As Araku next year. Nealon, did he get better? Okay, Overshown coming off an injury. And then the 5th way is coaching. Does the coaching get better? The continuity, the system, the implementation, the adjustments. We look at that and just look at our defense and tell me where we can get better, and that'll tell you if anything's possible for this defense. If you can tell me if a couple of those things can change between now and the end of the year, then there's a way to get better. Otherwise, we're screwed into the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't do anything, you are screwed. We got enough film to know, like the guys that you have currently coaching under this scheme right now, it's not like they're going to get drastically better. So now, if you don't do anything, you're just expecting Marvion Overshown to and Revel and Butler and these guys to make your defense better, which
on
I
the
think
margin,
is a flawed, thought. But
that's it. Incremental, a little bit here, a little bit better. The first 2 seconds, the defensive backs got to cover and hold their water. Can they hold for 2 seconds and give our pass rush specialist a chance, Houston, to get a chance to get around the corner? Can he get there and get a little bit of pressure? Can we get a little bit better fit on the run stop? You know what I mean? Can we get off the field on 3rd down?
We're talking about from a pressure standpoint. You ain't got nobody coming back from a pressure standpoint to do that. You don't really got that many. I mean, are we counting on Butler to be your savior at corner? You ain't got nobody to cover better on the back end to do that.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you go press man or something and see if you go press man, maybe that just like you said, the multiple thing, right? If you go press man and maybe gets in the guy's grill, especially on these 3rd and 5. I can't stress enough how on 3rd and 5 you got these guys.
This goes back to my saying about this is why you have to move on, because he's not going to change who he is. He's not. He's not a multiple coordinator. He had the chance to do the funniest thing ever and come out and say, yeah, I felt that the reason why we played the way we played against Washington is because we needed to switch things up. And I bet you he would have had some of the fan base bought in. But this mother came out and said, no. We just did that because they don't play good against man. And the very next week he goes out and he goes right back to the bullshit. So you just proved to me that you didn't change because you needed to change. You changed because the numbers said to change, right? Or play in that manner. I need a coordinator that can go and look at this collective of guys and say, you're not doing this well consistently, but you do this well. Let me play into that. This isn't working at this unit, but damn it, y'all do this well. Let me try, and then piece it together as whatever you got to do. Like, again, I keep going back to Dan Quinn because that's what Dan did. That's not him. That's not him. What you need to do for him, you're going to need to spend capital and bread and bring in dudes everywhere and then let him play his scheme with dudes.
And if he does that, they're going to be like, wow, God, this defense is really good because you got the horses, because he can defend. It is a good scheme when you got your dudes. And we know what it is. We've seen it. You know what I mean?
It's not a bad scheme. If you go look at his time, and when I say a bad scheme, I should say it's not a scheme that I prefer. First, let me just say that. But it has proven in Indianapolis that it can be. I don't even want to use respect. It can be good. It can be a good enough defense, but he had dudes
especially
over there,
with this offense. Especially with this offense.
Exactly.
My gosh, you turning the ball over, you forcing turnovers and getting off the field on third down. Man, we dump truck teams, no doubt about it, man. I killed it, but it's not gonna happen the way this works. And maybe like with you and John Machota was like, yo, I would just send the kitchen sink, yo. I'm sending people off the edge. I'm sending corner blitzes. I'm blitzing. I'm covering. And if I get burned, at least I'm getting burned fast. You know what I mean? And getting it done. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the solution is on that. I got to have a theory on it, but I'm bought into this. I want to see how it plays out, even though it's an accident on the side of the road sometime, and we're gonna stop and look at it, right? So I'm going to check it out, but I'm really just thinking and hoping that they make a trade like we talked about and make a good deal, and then also some of these guys, once again, to come back off an injury or get a little bit better, and we can get better around the margins. And once again, if we can get from 32 to 22, man, we're going to be looking like Chicago 85 out there.
Hey, look, I ain't even going to hold you. I'm about to tell you why it might be possible. But go ahead. Not possible, but why it can happen. But go ahead, man. In closing.
Yeah, in closing, man, like, okay, obviously this is the weekend where we're getting ready to play the Cardinals. Just get ready to go into the bye. So there's going to be, I think this is going to be some changes. I think some of these guys like Sam Williams and I can't think of his name right now, defensive end from that came from Washington, but Fowler, yeah, Dante. So I think that they're kind of on their last leg with some of these guys, and if they don't show up, then I think what Schotty and them going to do is they're going to start saying, hey, we no longer just going to try to keep it balanced or give everybody a fair shake. If you're not balling out, don't expect to see the field. You know what I'm saying? I think this is the last week for these guys who they expected to do something to show that they have something, because they're going to go into the bye. They're going to start going with the young guys. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what this is. All right, man. Appreciate the call, Mo. Yes, sir. I ain't letting this week fool me. We got no. I don't care if they come out looking like the damn 85 Bears. No. We have enough evidence. Don't fall for the Kenneth Murray goes out there and has 2 tackles for loss and makes a big hit. What Kenneth Murray? No. Kyrie Elam gets an interception. No. Marshawn Elam got a sack. No. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't put that in the air. Don't give them any ideas. Jacoby Brissett gets sacked 17 times.
go get some dudes. And you know what? They probably will be on some. Well, you know what? James Houston got another sack. That Bridges character picked off Brissett. Little Brisket over there. He picked off Brisket. We might be okay. Kenneth Murray forced a fumble, y'all. What more do you need? Like, consistency is more important to me than some spurt. They have been consistently poor. I'm not hearing none of that. Something feels like it's up in the air, man. Jerry's going to be on Stephen A's show Monday. Let me ask y'all. Do y'all think something's going to go down? Like, let me say this. Does him going on the Stephen A. Smith show make you feel like there is going to be a move made? I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I feel like him doing this because he likes headlines. What'd he say? When something ain't, when it's too quiet, we like to stir it up. Cowboys still on everybody's A block or whatnot, but it's because of this type of nonsense and what he's saying and how bad your defense is, basically. Big A said, nah. Oh, Toxic, that could be it too. I ain't think about that. He said another crypto deal. A business move. Dro said Elam gets a pick and runs into Kenneth Murray, causing a fumble. Burnt Bridges, that's a good one. Got built up by getting that early pick. Shit, he got gifted that pick, bro. Ain't fooling me. That's why I said after that I said, I'm not buying into that Washington performance. Are you kidding me? I watched the damn game, boy. They was dropping balls and the old boy was just flinging it everywhere. I'm like, dudes was open. It was running on you early in the game, too. Ain't fool me. I said, you got to show me multiple times. Talk more about natural gas. All right, I'll be the one then. I do think something going to happen. Not because I think he realistically wants to improve this defense tenfold. Just because he got to keep it stirring. We got to get in the headlines, yada, 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 yada. Like, that's what I think it's going to be about. But you know what, bro? Whatever you got to tell yourself, Jerry. If you got to tell yourself the biggest headline move is trading for Max Crosby or Trey Hendrickson or whatever, and that's what's going to get the thing going, then I don't give a damn. Whatever you got to tell yourself, Jerry. Let me ask you a question, sir. Because see, we can have fun. We can banter. We can back and forth. Who? And I'm gonna get to these super chats if I already did. Who are you calling lame asses? Are you talking about players? Are you talking about me? Are you talking about fans in here? Troy, who are you talking to? What?
Who in the blue hell
are you talking to? I'm just curious. Because people get mad when you don't. Yeah, I'm just curious. Which players are the lame ones? Missing tackles, not wanting to tackle. Elam? Yeah, Elam looked pretty bad last week. But that's who he is. All right. Yeah, we're good. We're actually no. There was a couple that came in. What's the day? The 31st. Already got the Joe. He dropped 2 below the heavens. Dropped 2 and said Rooflin. That's when I was talking about going over to Vegas and Mark Davis. I can't say it because I ain't, But yeah, liquor him up a little bit. Dro dropped 5 and said Xavier Harris at Ole Miss is a Flus type of defensive tackle. Don't get these boys ideas, Dro. 6'7", 320. Flus is a Jerry guy. He'll be back. Oh, He'll be back next year, rebuild the defense with the draft. No. I rebuke no. No. You know what, Joe? Come here. Let's talk real quick. Do you trust this team to rebuild the defense in the draft? Do I need to run down the defensive players in the draft over the last 5 years? I'm not rebuilding a damn thing. In fact, again, I had this conversation last night with Foots after the show. You don't really need nothing on offense. I mean, people might say, "Oh, I'll get a tackle." Whatever, man. You get tackled later, whatever. You can stay put, honestly, if you want, because you see your offense is still a beast with the current tackles. You don't really need and desperate for anything offensively. You desperate for everything defensively. Rookies are not fixing it. I don't care about 29. I don't care about 30. I don't. Rookies in 26 and 27 are not fixing it right now in this 2 to 3 year window you have. That's not to say you don't draft any defensive players. I'm just saying use that capital to go get dudes and not just and spend money in free agency. You can't rehaul the defense purely through the draft in this particular window. Had you have a rookie quarterback where you're expecting, he's 23 years old, you got like a 5-year window that you can be bad to okay for the next 2-3 years or whatever. Great. But what you need to do is what Denver did. When they went and got Peyton Manning, they said that ain't all we're going to go get. We need to go get a bunch of other players on D. They spent a lot of money defensively. Needed to go do what the Rams did. Need to go do what the Bucks did. Not saying that he's this as old as those guys, but you need to get aggressive in free agency and through trades to make the defense better. You can't just build it through the draft, bro. We're just going to be repeating this whole cycle because they can't draft defensively. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Micah Parsons saved you. Yeah, Voldemort saved you. You got one dynamic needle mover. The other one that we thought he on the outs. Can't stay healthy. And then with Deron Bland, you got to hit in the 5th round. Great. You hit one. But from 2020 to right now, you confident enough in how they draft defensively? Me, bro. They're doing what, Troy? Call into the show so I can air you out again. I have fun airing because you love defending this goofy. What are they doing, Troy? They're doing. You mean to tell me they are doing what those other franchise? They went out and they signed DeMarcus Ware, Aqib Talib. They did those type of things. Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller, Jason Pierre-Paul, Ndamukong Suh. They did that. I'm trying to be respectful as possible with you, bro. But I'm starting to think like either you're blinded by your love for this guy or you don't know ball. Like, I'm confused. Like, you don't know ball, bro. How can you possibly say the Cowboys are doing the same things? You watch this show too much, bro. You watch this show too much when I literally lay it out that they're not. Where are those players at? You're naming me offensive players. Did I name a single offensive player? And George Pickens, again, was once again a move made out of desperation, not because they saw the foresight. But stay focused. Defense. You have the nerve to say traded Micah. Dog, are you like, I'm trying to be nice, man. And you just heard me say what I said. How is trading Micah the same as bringing in the Micah types? What? How is that remotely the same? Please tell me. I would rather you just come out and say, Sky, I'm a Jerry homer. I love Jerry. I love the Joneses. When people talk bad about them, I feel some type of way, and that's why. Because then I'll just stop responding to your takes about it. It's not making sense, bro. It's a team. Building is an effort. What? Yeah, it is. All right. I think we had enough fun there. I'm still waiting for you to tell me when they brought in DeMarcus Ware, Von Miller, Aqib Talib, Jalen Ramsey, Ndamukong Suh, Jason Pierre-Paul, when they had their older quarterbacks, you know. And Rams didn't even have older quarterbacks. They just said, we going for this shit. I don't know. I don't know how that family has people like this. I don't get it. What have they done for you to defend these dudes that much? I don't get it. But I appreciate y'all for coming through this morning. It's crazy, man. Be back Monday. Talk about this Cardinals game. Because I think this is it. I know I said season on the brink, but I could have did this on Monday, season on the brink. Because this might be it, man. You know, you don't get this one, you go down 3-5-1. I would imagine the potential playoff numbers sink to below 5% or whatever. And it probably means your defense didn't have a good day. And if they don't make a move, then yeah, I still will not focus on the draft. I'm just not doing it at the end of the year, but we'll focus on hopefully the young players. Something. They don't even, hey, Oscar, you know what? It is Halloween. I should have put the do-rag on in the middle of the show. But come on, man. I don't know what more you need to see, man. What am I going as Halloween? Hey, I'm an armchair GM, so I'm going to just go as Jerry Jones. Yeah, I'm saying. Let me press this button and get up out of here, boy. Let me stop before Troy docks me and can get on my ass. You don't like when I talk about Jerry Jones, man. Let me press this goddamn button, get up out of here.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
Hey, no, before I push the button, because I got to get this in here. I apologize. I apologize. But we got to pay the bills. Shouts out to Morgan & Morgan for presenting our Pulse of the Nation hotline. Have you fallen and gotten injured at work? You should probably call a lawyer.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan.
Morgan and 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 Morgan.
Did you know that your injury could be worth millions of dollars? Morgan & Morgan is the largest injury law firm in America, and they've recovered over $25 billion for their clients.
$25 billion? That's a hell of a lot of money.
If the insurance companies tried to lowball you, Morgan & Morgan is able to take the pain and suffering and turn it into cold, hard cash. But wait. How much is Morgan & Morgan going to cost you? You never owe them legal fees unless they're successful.
That's right. You don't owe unless you win.
And if you don't know how to hire a lawyer and it sounds too hard, it's actually super easy. You can just go to their website, and then in a couple clicks, you can find out if you have a case. You can literally do it from your smartphone. And remember, there's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Wait, there's more than one because, let me see the script. Oh, last name. Oh, okay, roll it.
You can start your claim today by going to forthepeople.com/Skywalker. The link in the description. Now,
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
we can press that button. Nope. There you go. Gotta pay the bills, man. Gotta pay them bills. Dolphins fired their general manager. Wow. That'd be nice. But announced Mike McDaniel will remain head coach. Huh. That's what happens when you don't get shit done. Get fired. Happy Halloween, folks. Hope you have fun with your kids if you're out there. I know I did with mine. Love y'all. We out here. Peace.
Bomb Squad!